Welcome to another episode of the K&A Football Podcast. It has been a long time. I know we said this the last time we recorded, but it has been a long time since our last episode. And that is because it is the dead zone of the NFL season. That's why this episode is titled Dead Zone. That's how it goes this time of the year. OTAs are ending, mini camps are ending. So now players are going to be on vacation until late July when they all meet back up for training camp. So everyone is struggling and grasping at straws for things to talk about. So there's some news that Austin and I will cover. We have some fun questions for us to talk about, and we're just going to try to keep going until we get to September and the season starts. This should be a fun time. This is K&A Football. Okay, so Austin, we once again for multiple times now have sort of a new setup. Debbie got us the new equipment, so now I'm no longer in my basement right now. I'm sitting at my kitchen table, and my family is sort of in the same vicinity as me, so I kind of feel very weird talking, and my family can kind of hear this. But eventually, I'm going to get moved upstairs. You look like you're already upstairs, but shout out to Debbie for knowing tech, because the setup it looks a lot more fluid, and it might not feel like that to us because we still tried to go live around 7:30 and it is right now 9 o'clock, but it feels a lot better than it normally does.
It's a classic from us to go ahead and say, 7:30, 8 o'clock, here we are, an hour and a half later, finally getting to it. I'm actually not upstairs right now. I'm actually in Margaret's lair.
Oh, are you? Margaret, that's right. We did talk about that. You said you were going to get the Dorito, the orange fingers, and mess up all his computer stuff.
Oh, yeah. Touch Margaret's computer. Margaret's got like an absolutely insane like NASA computer able to send rockets to space, and is right next to the Wi-Fi. And so here I am, so everything runs maybe a little bit smoother, even though I am still on my own computer because Margaret actually has like the world's greatest security system on his computer. And so we were actually like, Debbie was over here for almost an hour trying to get this set up, but Margaret's computer kept on rejecting everything because it was like, no, this is not approved by my owner. There's a struggle. So I'm actually still using my stuff, but I'm just closer to the Wi-Fi.
That's what I'm doing as well. But there is a lot for us to talk about, but I think before we move on to, football, before we move on to the actual football, as Debbie tells me to look into the camera, this is going to take a little to get used to. If we remember back in February, we were back at Debbie's house, back in the good old times before we were virtual like this, and I think it was the episode after the Super Bowl, if I can remember right. And we did the intro. I think Austin did the intro of that episode. And we come back, and Austin has a little party hat on. And he hands me a party hat and he celebrates because my birthday was that week, correct? Well, obviously we are not in the same vicinity, so we can't do anything like that. Nor do I have a party hat, unfortunately, that I could also give you. And I wouldn't call myself... I would like to do, tomorrow is Austin's birthday, all right? And, so make sure you spam Happy Birthday Austin in the chat. Make sure we have a nice little Instagram post for Austin tomorrow. But we had to think of something, for Austin. And I'm not going to come here and do, make some crazy cake. I wouldn't trust myself for that. But I know how much Austin... Oh, my camera's up here. Austin likes these little Eggo... waffles. So we got these. We got the sprinkles.
Stupid.
So Austin, this is gonna be your little birthday cake. All right. I was looking for some candles earlier, couldn't find any. But we got the sprinkles. We got the Eggo waffle. You can come over later tonight and take your birthday cake from me. But make sure you spam hashtag Happy Birthday Austin 19. Yeah. If we were together, you would totally be happy to eat this on the air right now. And it looks Yeah, you
I
would.
would not be
It's
eating
not one of
that.
the Waffle House ones. You would be good. It's
I would
all right.
not.
It's not frozen. It's
Yeah,
not frozen
that Waffle
anymore.
House episode coming soon. By the way, Debbie's working tirelessly on that one. Maybe, hopefully by next
You
week.
know,
we'll have
also, I'm not
that.
gonna
We'll
lie. I
see.
might just eat your birthday waffle for you. What?
Yeah, for the well, first off, before I get, yeah, we're gonna just go ahead and stream us, or at least record us, reacting to the Waffle House
Oh,
video.
are we? Are we for
There's
real?
a lot of things that you guys, yeah, because there's a lot of things that happened during the video, during the filming of the video that won't make the final cut. That'll be pretty entertaining to go ahead and talk through. So it'll be a lot of fun to do
I
that.
did not know we were doing that. That's fun.
Caden, yeah, it'll be fun. Caden, how long have you been holding that waffle? You've been holding that waffle since 7:30, waiting for us to go live, and it's just been like sitting in your hand.
It's been sitting right here on the
You're just
table.
waiting.
When it got out of the
Waiting in
freezer,
your
it
hand.
was like like a rock hard, solid, frozen waffle, and now it's pretty floppy. It's pretty soggy, and I
Maybe
mean,
I'm starting to
totally,
eat.
it looks very good, especially with the sprinkles are in perfectly. Hold on, perfectly caressed in every little crevice here. I really want to take a bite for you. You know what? For your birthday, I will.
You should do that. Yeah. Happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday, Austin. But should we go into the football?
No, I think we should. We should probably go into football before this divulges any
There's
further.
our Kadin and Austin food take for the day.
Yeah, exactly. This is our food take. All right, so first order of business, first order of news here. We have, I think probably pretty big news. The Minnesota Vikings went ahead and released Dalvin Cook, which I did think was a little surprising. It's been a couple weeks since they did that. So, Caden, if you could refresh me, why did they release him?
Why did they release him? Well,
Yeah.
me and you really don't understand. We've talked about it many times. We don't understand why teams cut because you either keep the player on your team, especially to a player to the level of Dalvin Cook, but you either keep a good player on your team or you trade him and get at least a 7th round pick for him. It cannot be that hard. But instead you cut him. You end up costing your team a good deal of money by cutting the player, and you get nothing for him. It really doesn't make sense to either of us, but I guess the reason for doing it is quote-unquote money, even though I think it ends up hurting them in the long run with money, and he's getting older. He's not getting any better.
Yeah.
And running backs, we know careers only last a solid 3 or 4 years, but he was still a solid player, but whatever.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, and we've probably talked about this 1,000 times on here, I don't understand why teams cut. Like, exactly like you said, worst you could get is a 7th round pick, and that's a draft pick right there. Like, there is capital to players. Like, ask for a first. You don't get a first, all right, start asking for a second. Don't get that? Oh, I guess we're asking for a third. And you just go all the way down the list until someone takes him, because someone will take him. They don't want to try to renegotiate a contract with a player off waivers. Like, they'd really like to just pick up the contract the team already had. It's way easier that way. But whatever, teams can do what they want to do. And so now he's on the search for a new team. He wants a team that's going to value him as a player and value him in terms of money. So we'll see where he ends up going. But the running back market right now is looking
Dead.
pretty.
That's exactly what I was
poor.
about to say. Like, I was going to bring it up towards the end of the episode, but Dalvin Cook, Ezekiel Elliott, Leonard Fournette, and Kareem Hunt are 4 very serviceable, like they're starting caliber running backs. And all 4 of them are free agents, and none of them really have that much attention right now of, oh, this team wants to go sign them. It's like none of these guys are going to get homes. And I get it. Running backs are the least important position probably in football because they're easy to replace and easy to plug and play a guy. But those are 4-star running backs that you can easily, like Buffalo. They need a running back. They can go get one, and then they can go contend for a Super Bowl even more. I mean, it's really odd to me that the 4 of them at their caliber aren't getting jobs. And I was going to ask you if you think there's any reason for that.
I think it's age, honestly. I mean, like, those four that you did list, Kareem Hunt, Ezekiel Elliott, Leonard Fournette, Dalvin Cook's a little on the younger side, but those three guys, like they are a little bit older in age. They're all still early 30s, but like in terms of running backs, teams really like to take a running back in the draft, sign them to a rookie deal, then sign them to a really, really cheap 5-year deal, and then they get cut and they pick up the next guy in the draft. Because like you said, running backs are plug and play. You can take really any guy that's a running back, and realistically, as long as your offensive line is good enough, you're going to hit the holes, you're going to make the runs, you're going to run out the clock, and that's what you really need to do with the running back. So just older guys don't have the stamina. They don't have they're more prone to the injury bug. And I think that's probably a big reason, but I still don't understand. Like Leonard Fournette, I thought he was awful last year. I did not think he did anything helpful. I had him in a couple of my fantasy leagues, and I was so sorry.
Yeah, you traded
in the draft.
You traded him to me in Dynasty, and now I'm stuck with a player who's not even on a team.
Yeah, exactly. Like that was probably the greatest move I made in the entire Dynasty season, was trading him to you. I thought he was awful, so I understand why he's not on a team. Goodbye. Like, you don't deserve it. Ezekiel Elliott, though, has been a productive running back since 2016. I thought he's been great. Not level of 2016 the whole time, but I think he's been really good. So running backs are plug and play, but if you get a really good running back, guess what? That's going to elevate a really good team that's just one piece away from a Super Bowl. A veteran guy who knows what he's doing, can hit the holes a little bit better, knows when to go down. You're going to win a lot more games. So I don't understand why teams aren't picking him up. But yeah, whatever.
Whatever makes. Guys. I mean, and even if you have a solid running back on your team, even signing one of those guys to a cheaper deal and having like an amazing 1-2 punch, kind of like the Browns did with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, like that's deadly, and that can easily, that alone can win you football games. But you know, they're the NFL GMs; they get paid millions of dollars, and we don't. So I guess they know what they're doing.
Hopefully, they know what they're doing. If not, I guess I should be making millions of dollars to be a GM. Honestly, I think that we'd probably make the greatest GMs in the league has ever seen.
Never cut them.
Always trade for something. We're just gonna.
Yeah, and you know what else I would have us do? Is sign D-Hop.
Sign D-Hop. I was just gonna get to that, man. DeAndre Hopkins is another free. Like, we haven't been on air in a while because there hasn't really been anything to talk about, as well as the fact that Debbie went ahead and just had like every surgery known to mankind in a 3-week period. So shout out to Debbie for that. But DeAndre Hopkins was cut by the Arizona Cardinals because reasons. Again, cutting doesn't make sense. And it doesn't even save them money. It turns out that it actually cost them money to cut DeAndre Hopkins. The Arizona Cardinals have the most expensive wide receiver room in the entire NFL. They have one receiver that I can name, Marquise Brown. They have one guy. DeAndre Hopkins was the other guy, and now he's gone. So he's out there on the free agent hunt as well. He's been on a lot of visits with a lot of teams. I think Kansas City was in the mix there, Buffalo, and the Patriots. He just got back from a 2-day visit with the Patriots, and honestly, that's probably looking like his most likely destination.
It was looking from the start like it was Kansas City or if it was Buffalo, and that it makes a lot of sense. You know, you're a great receiver, and you're getting older, so why not go to an amazing team already and go fight for a ring? You know, that's whatever. What's a couple $1 million difference going to do? You know, I'd rather. I'm sure he's got millions and millions and millions of dollars, more than any of us will ever see, ever. But so to him, I really don't understand what's the difference between a couple more $1 million and a Super Bowl ring. To me, I think a Super Bowl ring would be a little more important, but clearly that's not important to him because all of a sudden it sounds like the only two teams that he's interested in are the Titans. Goodness gracious, I got to get a drink of water. My throat just like dried on me. Are the Titans and the Patriots. Two teams that are going to be terrible this season. The Titans do not have a number one receiver, and say they do get D-Hop, does not matter. They're in the AFC, first of all. They're not getting past the AFC. And their quarterback is either Ryan Tannehill, Malik Willis, or Will Levis. You're not winning with that. And also the Patriots, you're in the AFC East, which is one of the hardest divisions now. You're getting fourth place in the division no matter what. And Mac Jones is your quarterback. So he's chasing the money. Doesn't really make sense, but like you said, it does sound right now like he's really going to go to the Patriots, but whatever. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
I forgot about that.
you guys can't hear Debbie, but he just got done saying that there's been some chatter on the Instagram that D-Hop will in fact be a Patriot. DeAndre Hopkins posted something on his Twitter. He posted a picture of someone from the Patriots and said, I think he said "Mi familia,"
because DeAndre Hopkins is just totally Spanish.
Yeah, that's from DeAndre Hopkins' Twitter, and then an NFL meme page posted that he's a Patriot, which could be actual news or it could be trolling, but we'll see. But I do think that he will be a Patriot and probably gonna go ahead and jump on.
Which doesn't make sense to me, but whatever. You do you.
Yeah, exactly.
Another receiver news, I guess. This is the thing about the dead zone, like we had said about this season. There's gonna be storylines from OTAs and camp that people just make and try to create storylines and drama to run with. And one of those things was 2 days ago when Stephon Diggs wasn't at the Bills' mandatory mini camp or whatever, and literally the world blew up and was like, oh my goodness, he's out. He wants out. He's unhappy. And then the next day, he was there. So I don't really know what to make of that. Again, it's kind of like people just finding something to talk about right now, which I get it. There is nothing to talk about. So people are trying to find anything and they're like, oh, this. But I really don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. I think he's 99.9% sure staying a Bill. I don't think he would leave.
Yeah, I don't think he'll leave either. I mean, the Bills have not, they haven't gone to any Super Bowls, but every year they're hyped up like they're going to the next one and they're going to win it. So it's a good place to be. It's better than being on the Titans, where everyone knows that they're not going anywhere. Probably not going to win the division. But the Bills haven't really accomplished that much in the last couple of years. They're kind of the biggest choke artists so far, other than the Cowboys. But I don't think Diggs is going anywhere. He has expressed some amount of unhappiness in the past, but I think it's all just talk. I mean, you don't leave probably the third.
Oh, that is funny. That is funny that you say that.
Because
that is funny that you said that.
Reasons you stay with that. He's got a good deal going on, Buff. And then in other news, very recently, speaking of the Bills, Josh Allen, the new cover athlete.
I forgot about that. You're right.
Madden. Yeah. What are your thoughts on that one, Kadin? I know a lot of people were a little upset about that.
It doesn't really matter that much to me. I stopped buying Madden 2 years ago because thunder. Because I don't really play Xbox that much anymore because I'm not home much. And also, it's just the new Madden every year is literally just a roster update with a different cover. And so at some point, it's not worth the $70 that they charge you. So at some point, you can just be like, you know what? I'm just going to imagine that Teddy Bridgewater here is Bryce Young, and I'm going to play as the Panthers, and we're going to do that. So it doesn't really matter that much to me. I think he was not deserving of it. Maybe if you gave it to him last season, it would have made more sense because he had, by Josh Allen standards, he had a bad year last year. He had a lot of interceptions. They lost in the second round to the Bengals. I think you could have given it to Mahomes, even though he's already been on it, I think twice now. You could have given it to Mahomes. You could have given it to Jalen Hurts, Jefferson, Joe Burrow. I think all of them would have been better options than Josh Allen. But, he's a good player, obviously, one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the league. But
yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I'm with you there. All right, before we move on to our next little bit here, as always, as normal, per the usual arrangement, if you will. This episode is brought to you by K&F Construction. K&F Construction has been serving the Northeast Ohio community for over 16 years, specializing in composite decks. K&F Construction takes the time and effort to provide the service and product you deserve for your home. You can call K&F Construction today at 330-575-2465 for a free estimate. Again, that's 330-575-2465. You can also visit kfdex.com, which is linked in the description. K&F Construction, let us build your dream backyard.
All right, so Austin, what do you want to talk about next? Do we want to talk about our little wager, our friendly wager that we made?
Yeah. I feel like our friendly wager is probably a good one to bring up right about now.
How should we go in this? So if you didn't know, I'll bring this up as well. Like we said, it's the dead zone, for the football season. So we're gonna, me and Austin and Debbie and Margaret. Wait, whose room are you in? Margaret. Yeah. I was thinking of Sue Ellen. My fault. We brought our talents. We've expanded our talents to further podcasting platforms. Obviously, K&A football still there. We're still doing this, obviously, but right now there's not as much. So we expanded our talents to K&A Bible, where we talk about the Bible, and it plays at Evermore Community Church. So totally check that out on Sundays. But we were there. We filmed an episode yesterday at the church, and Austin and I can't really have many conversations without somehow football being brought up. And so, like normal, something came up about Bryce Young. I don't know how that would have came up, kind of weird that Bryce Young would be brought up. Exactly. I don't know how that came up in conversation, but it did.
I mean, that's almost never come up.
I was like, whoa, why are we talking about Bryce Young right now? We're talking about the Bible. But here we go. We're talking about Bryce Young, and then somehow Deshaun Watson gets brought up again. Very weird conversation, but something comes up about comparing the two stats. So kind of a gut reaction. I made a bet. It's a fair bet. I feel like I have a legit chance at winning it, but realistically, Austin has a higher chance here. But comparing for this season.
That's right. That's what we like to do.
Comparing Deshaun Watson's stats versus Bryce Young's stats at the end of the season, barring both of them play the same amount of games. We're looking at passing yards, passing touch.
Well, not play same amount of games, because someone could sit for last week if you're going into the playoffs or something like that.
So passing yards,
but like barring injury.
Passing yards, passing touchdowns, or total touchdowns, passing or rushing. So passing yards, touchdowns, interceptions. If whoever has 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 3 has better stats than the other. Austin and I had agreed that the loser out of the two of us, I obviously picked Bryce Young, obviously, and he was going for Watson. And whoever is correct, I guess you could say, when Austin returns from college next summer, we'll go to Texas Roadhouse and just enjoy a nice, big old steak, and the other has to just pay for the meal. So nothing crazy. But yeah, a fun little thing. What?
Just treating your friends that you haven't
exactly.
seen for a while
The whole reason I kind of thought, I was like, you know what? Worst case scenario, I gotta pay for this steak, but I get to go out and get to go out to my dinner, or go out to dinner with a friend who has been out in college for a year, so I haven't seen, so whatever. So realistically, I think
it's a win-win, especially for me, because I'm gonna get a free dinner. And Watson's going to have a great season.
I was thinking about it today, though. I really don't know, because obviously you don't know with any rookie, but Bryce Young's going into a situation that's not very normal for a first overall pick to go into. So I really don't know. It's going to be it just needs to be September, bro.
It does. Oh man, if we could find those. I can't remember exactly what they all are, but it's like we're in the dead zone of all sports other than baseball, but who watches baseball anyways? College football doesn't return for another 70 plus days. The NFL doesn't return for another 70 plus days. The finals for baseball, the World Series, isn't for like another 90 days. College basketball doesn't start for over
Mhm.
100 days. So it's like there's nothing going on but baseball, and no one cares
Mhm.
about baseball.
It's really like at least this is all during the summer, so it's not like we're cooped inside and it's wintertime and you can't turn on sports. But like, at least we're out, we're able to do stuff.
Right.
But totally,
So instead, Caden and I just take our talents to the spike ball net, and that's how we take out all of our need for sports. So if you have a spike ball partner that you think is really good, hit us up, and Caden and I will go ahead
correct.
and
Because
smoke
we
you
have
guys too.
never lost a game, and totally do not fact check us on this because we have totally never
No,
lost a
don't
game.
fact check any of that. Just trust us.
Yeah,
We've never lost a game.
but yeah,
All right. Last bit here, Caden. You said that
yeah.
you
I was
had a
sitting at work
couple
today,
of
and
questions.
I was, trying to think about some things to talk about tonight. Like I started looking at other podcasts. I know how crazy is that, and I was like, what are they talking about right now? And they didn't.
Research.
I
What are
know I
those?
don't do that. Debbie would be so proud of me. And thanks, Debbie. But they didn't even know what to talk about. They were like, "This is really like, there's nothing to talk about right now." But then I found this thing, and a couple of them they were just asking some random questions, and I was like, "Huh." So this one I actually didn't see. I thought about this. Well, that's a lie. I did see this one. Not on a podcast. I saw this one on like a Instagram thing. So a lot of things right now, like because it's the dead time of the year, they're doing rankings, like ranking the top whatever quarterbacks, the top 100 NFL shows coming out here in a couple of months or whatever like that. But I think the consensus when they rank quarterbacks is Mahomes one, and then Burrow and Allen
Obviously.
are two or three, and then there's a big drop off from there. I listened to a whole like 15-minute video on a debate between Burrow and uh, Josh Allen for two, and I would like to hear your take on it because yeah, I kind of want to hear what you have to say.
I don't think it's particularly close, and I hate to say it. Obviously, Mahomes is one. That's just no brainer. At two, I don't think it's particularly close. Joe
Okay,
Burrow.
I agree with
Um,
you.
I hate, I really hate to say it because he's obviously in the Browns division, and we have to play him twice a year. So I'd really love it if they couldn't afford to pay him, or he just hated the team and just went anywhere but our division. But I think Josh Allen forces the ball way too much. I think that he makes a lot of ill-advised throws. He throws a lot of interceptions. If he would just throw less interceptions, he'd probably be two because he's way more athletic than Joe Burrow can ever dream of being.
Yeah.
But as of now, with how many interceptions Josh Allen throws and how impatient he is with the ball, he has to be three. And Joe Burrow is in a not even
Okay.
close second.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I was a little surprised. I kind of thought you were gonna be big on Josh Allen. You picked them to win the Super Bowl last year. But all right, I
did.
agree with you there. Good take. What else did I see? This one, I didn't want to ask this one because I kind of think I know your answer, and it's gonna sound like I'm just kind of being stupid and being like kind of like a homer here. But it was a valid, and it wasn't a Panthers podcast I was listening to. It was an NFL podcast, and they were talking because that's what you do on a podcast. And
No, I thought you said.
and they something came up about Bryce Young, and they said if you look at the NFC, is it too crazy to say that Bryce Young is it too crazy to say that he's already a top 5 quarterback in the NFC? In the NFC, because now I know that sounds crazy, which I totally agree with you. I thought the same thing. I said, okay, what is this? And I clicked it, because I'm dumb and I wanted to watch it, and so I listened to it, and it makes a little sense because you got obviously Jalen Hurts is the best in the NFC, and that's about it. After that, who do you got? Dak Prescott, maybe? You got maybe Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
You got maybe Justin Fields, if you're high on Justin Fields like we are. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it might shock you, but yeah, I'll agree with you. I mean, Bryce Young probably
Okay.
is top 5 in the NFC. I mean, like you said, who do you have? Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott, Justin Fields, Brock Purdy. I mean, Trey Lance, if you want to put him there,
Oh no
but I mean,
way,
only one
no
of them's
way.
going to start,
Trey
and I
Lance is not that
and I
good.
haven't seen Lance play,
Right.
so I take him out. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't see a problem with putting Bryce at 5.
That and I mean,
Really don't.
I saw something for
Who
Jared
else you got?
Goff.
Yeah, you could say Goff. He's serviceable. He's not. I don't think he's got that clutch factor. He's not an elite quarterback, but he's good
Okay,
enough. And with how sorry the NFC is, like, I
that is
guess.
that's a lot better than the response I thought I was gonna get out of you. I thought you were gonna laugh at me and be like, "Absolutely not. He hasn't played a game." But okay, I respect that.
Now, yeah, that is true. He hasn't played a game, and so obviously you do have to like bump him down quite a bit. But and I did knock Trey Lance just now because I haven't ever seen him play a game. He
Yeah.
played like a total of 3 games and nothing but
Mhm.
garbage time 2 years ago. And so it's like I can't tell you how to, like the same thing with Jordan Love. Like I've seen Jordan Love play 4 games in his entire career, and he's already had an extension to his contract. Like,
Yeah, that was dumb.
so, but I think everyone can agree that Bryce Young is going to be in the NFL for a while. He's probably not going to be a bust.
He better not be.
Um,
I ordered a
and as long as
$140 jersey.
he better not be a bust. Caden would. I'm planning on drafting him in Dynasty first overall, so he better not be a bust. I mean, if he's a bust of a pick, I don't know what I'm going to do. I traded away a full receiver for that pick. Shout out to Preston Bowman for go ahead and selling me that pick. Yeah,
Okay,
I don't think that's too
I
crazy
like
to
that.
say.
Did you say you had any other questions as well?
I was going to talk about the
Okay.
Madden cover, but
Do
we
you think
already
that a
covered that
Madden
one.
curse is going to happen? Because if you think about it, it's happened every year. Like I said, it didn't happen this year because the cover was John Madden. And he's already
Because the
already
cover athlete
dead.
was John
so
Madden. He was
you
already
can't really
dead.
curse much more than that. So I mean, honestly though, it's kind of weird to think
It's
about.
true.
Every single year it's happened.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I mean, who knows? If it happens this year, I guess I'll have to believe it.
But like, I don't know what you're gonna say for the Madden curse. Like,
no, I don't
it's not
really
always
believe
just
it.
injuries. I'm not gonna say Josh Allen's gonna get hurt.
Yeah, it's always like an unproductive year or like a worse year than the year before, like by a lot. So I mean, we'll see. I don't really believe in it personally.
I
but
agree.
I guess if it happens, I'll have to.
Yeah. Is there anything else that we got for right now? Hopefully next episode I'm up in my room, and
Hopefully, next episode, if all goes well, we will be reacting to the
I
Walker
forgot about that.
House
No, hopefully,
video. If all goes well, we're not making any promises.
and also hopefully there's something to talk about. Hopefully, all the remaining free agents sign with teams.
Get signed.
Hopefully,
It won't happen.
Patrick Mahomes demands a trade. And there's
Won't happen.
and there's so much craziness to talk about.
And there was an interview that Patrick Mahomes did just a couple days ago, and they were asking him about the money because obviously he's no longer the highest paid player in the NFL. And he was like, "Oh, I mean, yeah, money's cool to an extent, but like once you hit a certain amount, like it doesn't
Exactly.
really matter all that much anymore, and it's about winning championships." And I was like, "That is a based opinion right there. Like he's not going anywhere. He's in Kansas City for as long as they're winning Super Bowls."
Which is like I said that earlier in this episode. I don't understand going for a couple more $1 million. What's the difference between $502 million and $503 million? No, that's really nothing. $508 million. $5 million is nothing to them. So whatever. I respect that out of Mahomes, and that's why along with his skill, obviously, he's going to win a lot of championships and Super Bowls with the Chiefs. And thankfully, he's in the AFC.
Hopefully. Oh, yeah, well, that should mean everything's got to run through Kansas City for the
That
next
means
10
he's
years.
literally Brady 2.0. So hopefully the NFC just never will have
yeah.
a Brady like that, except for Bryce Young. He is that guy.
Of course. I trust.
I trust.
All right, so I think that's all we have for this week. Thank you guys for watching episode 60 whole episodes, which means we have outpaced an episode per week. It's been almost a year now since our first episode. I think on the anniversary of our first episode, we should have a little celebration. I'll find out when that is. I think it's in
Do you want
July
a little
at some point.
before you go?
We won't have any more waffles. We won't have any more waffles. None of those. I have not eaten a
Have you
waffle
really?
since
Have
the
you
Waffle
really
House
not?
video. I have not eaten a waffle since
That's
then.
such
and
a
I
bummer.
don't plan on it anytime
And
soon.
the Eggo waffles are good. Please tell me I didn't ruin Eggo.
Eggo waffles are good. Like, honestly, if there's an Eggo waffle
Hey.
train, I'd probably eat it. They're really good. Especially
You're a
those blueberry
solid
ones.
15-minute drive away from a half-eaten blueberry, or not half-eaten Eggo waffle with sprinkles. And half the sprinkles are hand-picked off and bitten by me because they looked very good.
Oh. Yeah, Debbie Scarry. Put the rocket fuel on the back and start cooking. Well, that's it from us. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll catch you all next time. Thanks for watching this episode of K&A Football. You can listen to our podcast wherever you get your podcasts, and we're also active on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts.
If you made it this far in the video, thank you. You're a real one.